We've only gotten 2 episodes so far, and Kenobi has been a lot of things up to this point. Fun, entertaining, divisive, impactful. There have been some awesome and fantastic moments so far, like the Operation Nightfall scene at the very beginning of the first episode, and all as well as just Ewan McGregor's face anytime it's on screen. That's just always a plus. It's been great so far. There have also been some questionable moments, like the generic space pirates chasing child Leia and stopping by a branch, like just a branch in their way, and they just stop. I don't know. There's been some questionable decisions by the directors, but in the several days since those first 2 episodes dropped, most of the criticism of the show has been geared towards the character Reva, whatever it's supposed to be. All of the other criticism appears to be directed at anyone who criticizes the character Reva. So are any of these complaints valid? And how do we attempt to sort through this giant heaping mass of bantha poodoo that is the current Star Wars fandom? Welcome to Coffee on Korriban. We're going to have a great show today. I got a special guest that I haven't talked to in a while. It's going to be a fun time. Hello, and welcome to Coffee on Korriban. Let's say hello to the people in the chat real quick before I bring in my guest. We've got Anthony, YouTube fan, who was the first in the chat. Here's a sip for you. He says, pretty much, I wasn't enamored by with the Inquisitors appearing on Tatooine, a sacred hidden place in the Star Wars universe to me. Obi-Wan and Leia are great, though. We will see. We will definitely see, and I agree with you on that. That's a really good point with the kind of all this action appearing on this supposedly desolate world of Tatooine. We've also got Israel Garcia. Here's a sip for you. We've got Glenn Schroeder. Here's a sip for you. Scott Westbrook. Here's a sip for you. It's nice to see you all tonight. Well, my guest is a friend from California. You guys know I left California and I don't miss it, but I do miss the people. And one of those people, Mr. Eric Baruman. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Still a little bit nervous for the rest of the series, but I've kind of resigned myself to enjoy whatever I can out of the show and not put too much weight behind the stuff that I don't like. So far, I really like it. Reva is a questionable character. Is it Reva? I don't even really care. I think it's
Reva. I think it's Reva.
No, I think it's Reva.
Really?
I think it's Reva. Reva. But yeah, I'm kind of the way I'm going about this. I'm not trying to watch a whole lot of YouTube coverage of this series because I feel like there's going to be a lot of really vocal people in the negative camp. And I kind of want to limit that and allow myself to enjoy whatever I can from it. And then after the series is over and I have my own opinions completely formed and solidified, maybe I'll go back and I'll watch some reactions or streams talking about all that. But I don't know. How are you feeling in general so far after these first 2 episodes?
I actually really liked it more than my brother and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I turned on Facebook today and I saw a post from Star Wars official fan page, and my heart kind of sank because I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like a bullying frenzy, feeding frenzy on this poor actress who is doing her best. And yeah, I don't like the character. I mean, right away I didn't like her, and as the story progressed, really didn't like her. I think the community, the Star Wars fandom, was kind of confused too, of like, so she's like super savage and brutal and already killed the Inquisitor, but yet like, why is that happening? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like a shocker. Like, okay, so she's obviously like this toughie, right? So are we not supposed to like her, or what's going on? You know?
Right. I think at this point we are supposed to not like her, but only because she's a bad guy. I don't think we're supposed to dislike her because she's a poorly written character, which is, at least from these first two episodes, kind of what it seems like. And most of the criticism that I consider to be valid criticism are along those lines. They have nothing to do with her as a person, just maybe her acting in this role. And I really even hesitate to give that criticism to her as an actress, because I don't know if she's doing the best she can with the directing and the script that she was given, because we've seen that before in Star Wars and in movies, or if it's just her playing this character poorly. I want to reserve that criticism or complaints or negativity till after we get more information about the behind the scenes for that. But one thing that I'm pretty certain on is this character doesn't feel like it fits. It almost feels like every other character around her, even the other brother, the Grand Inquisitor, Owen, most of the other characters that we've seen so far feel like they take this Star Wars world seriously, with the exception of the imposter Jedi, which was kind of just a comedic relief character anyway. But my criticism with the character is she just doesn't fit in the Star Wars universe. And I found myself just kind of being like, why would you do that? Like,
I have to agree.
I have to
agree. She's very thug, when she's like holding his like robe, Owen, and she's like, I like that. It's like, where have we seen that before? Like we haven't. It's just a little too rude and aggressive.
Well, it's the line delivery as well, because when in that same scene she's talking to Owen and she's like, you think you could protect him from me? It's like the delivery could have been, something like, do you honestly think that you can protect your family from someone like me? Like, say it in a different way and it might make sense. Or when she tells that one guy on the streets of Daiut, move. Okay, that's a little out of place. Like, I get you, the character's supposed to be obnoxious a little bit, maybe, but it just doesn't feel like it fits so far. And I'm leaving an open mind for what we get in the future episodes. I think we got 4 left, but it's just, I don't know.
I have a theory, and I might be wrong.
All right.
What if she is the black girl in the first scene in the first episode as a Padawan, and she grows angry over time and feels abandoned by Obi-Wan? And that's a theory that's flowing out there, obviously.
Right.
But I came up with that before I even heard the theory throughout the community.
Which that ties into what Israel says right here. He says, I think right now she's pretty bad. What I'm hoping for is they pull in Ahsoka and make her intentionally bad so she can be better later. That's a weird tactic, but I really like that parallel with Ahsoka. She was, people said she was annoying. She felt out of place. Why does Anakin have a Padawan? All that sort of stuff. And now she's up there with Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu. She's up there in a lot of people's minds. And I'm leaving that open. Again, I don't know what the directors, what the screenwriters have in mind for this character. We've only seen 2 episodes. We've probably seen less than 10 minutes of screen time of her character so far, probably around there.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving an open mind, but I have to judge what I have seen so far. That's what I have to talk about. And then obviously all the, any criticism that has anything to do with racism and saying she was a diversity hire, that's, whether it's true or not, you don't really say that. You're not supposed to say that. So I don't endorse any of that. You guys know all that. Let's see. Anthony, YouTube fan, says, my biggest problem with Reva, 1, she's brand new and seems random in the Star Wars universe. So did Ahsoka. So that's a point right there. She's a retread of a bad characterization of Anakin in episode 2. A lot of people have been drawing that parallel as well. 3, face isn't covered, etc. Yeah, and that's honestly, face isn't covered isn't something that I thought about. Let's see. Scoundrels Cantina. To be honest, it seems Disney is laying the groundwork to blame the fans for their eventual failure with Kenobi if it comes to it. Yes, they are getting ahead of this, where they told Moses Ingram, like, hey, if they criticize you, there's a lot of racists out there. Beware. It doesn't really seem like something that you should try to get ahead of. You're a movie star. Like, you're going to get criticism from all sorts of wacky people. But it does seem like that's their go-to, not just the racism, but the toxic fan base, the man babies, that's their go-to if the product that they put out is not good.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I almost felt like that was the case. And I honestly thought in my subconscious as I was watching the first episode, oh, here we go, because they're trying so hard to have this, and it did seem like it just felt like they're trying too hard for sure.
Right.
And then you get this backlash, and it's like, oh, why am I not surprised by that?
Yeah.
Now,
And
none of the backlash I think should be personal or hateful or any of that garbage that is really not fair or nice.
Right.
But I have a really bad feeling that I have a bad feeling about this. Maybe it's a lot of trolls and they're nameless and they're bots or something, and they're just trying to stir the pot per se. Does that kind of maybe?
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And the people with the strongest opinions are the most vocal, and they get the most attention and media coverage. And so it can be 10 guys on the internet that are sending death threats or whatever just because they're weird. There's weirdos in every camp, but they're the ones that are going to get the attention. And then suddenly it becomes Star Wars fans en masse are attacking actress.
Yeah.
And so this Jake76 says it's a really big shame that some people are sending the lady who plays Reva such bad texts. Blame it on the character, not the person. They're just trying to play a character as their job. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And now there's certain things that these people can do to not put themselves in so much trouble. For example, one of her quotes, Moses Ingram, was Obi-Wan is going to bring the most diversity I think we've ever seen in the galaxy before. To me, it's long overdue. If you've got talking droids and aliens but no people of color, it doesn't make any sense. It's 2022, so we're just at the beginning of that change, but I think that's the start to that change is better than never having started it. So there's an aspect of it's almost like she's calling herself a diversity hire. Which,
okay, I wasn't aware of that quote,
right?
And now my whole world has been shaken.
Yeah, and so in my response to that, she says it's 2022, therefore we need black characters in Star Wars. First off, Lando was in Episode 2. Darth Vader, voiced by
James
Darth Vader himself. Darth Vader himself, essentially. He's just Darth Vader. In the original Star Wars. And then we got Mace Windu, Jolie Bindu, all the Bindu, I don't remember. All these characters that are, diversity hires. If you're people of color, I don't like that term at all, but people. Can we just call them people?
They're people, yeah.
But
they just happen to be dark skin,
right? And it's like throwing of them out.
It's so weird for her to make a statement like that,
right?
So I think there was some of the. Like you said, some of that background is she's kind of spilling it out by that whole article there.
Right.
Because it's making it obvious.
And my issue with that quote in particular isn't really the people of color comment or whatever, because I know people can have, it's time for this. It's time. We need more representation of this. I wish this, people have their wishes and desires and stuff. My issue is when she says it's 2022, we need this in Star Wars. And I go, wait, no. This is not 2022. This is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is timeless. We don't bring this time into it. And that goes for dialogue as well. The way people talk, it has to be Star Wars. It can't be America 2022.
Exactly.
And so that's more of my problem is an irreverence for the Star Wars universe, if you get what I mean. That's my issue with that quote, more so than the people of color comment.
I get what you mean, because that was the genius of Star Wars, and we're losing the original intent. And when George wrote Star Wars, it was to escape the horrors of Vietnam and gangs and all kinds of ugly stuff in the 70s, Even the movies were dark, Godfather and Exorcist. Like, crazy dark movies, and then here comes this fun, hopeful sci-fi movie with a spiritual element, with all this new technology and new special effects, and it just changed people's lives.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand. These new generation, these new gen Star Wars people who think they know Star Wars, but they just ended up getting the gig per se.
Right.
And now
Well, that's how you get J.J. Abrams, who can make visually stunning movies that a lot of people would argue don't feel like Star Wars.
it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Exactly.
Right. And that's reflected in the technology of the Star Wars universe. It's obviously they have hyperdrives and faster than light travel. That's all futuristic to us. But the screens, the readouts, the buttons is all ancient to us. It's a mix between our retro and our future. Hence, it's the Star Wars universe. It's timeless. And so I don't like people bringing current issues, politics, ways of speaking, ways of going about things into the Star Wars universe.
Exactly.
It has to stay a long time ago. And I've always treated Star Wars as an actual history that actually happened in our world just a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This isn't stuff we're making now. This is stories that have been around that we're retelling now with current modern technology.
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you watch Star Wars?
To escape this world. It's
That's
honestly
exactly why I watch.
I want the world, the Star Wars world. That world is interesting to me. And I like current events and politics and stuff, but it's fun to learn about the intergalactic banking clan and the separatists and the Senate. I like learning about the world because it feels real and it's something more to explore than 9 to 5 pay the bills. It's an escape. And I know for a lot of people, it's their only escape. But for me, it's something to just get my mind off of things and learn about stuff that interests me. And then you have the characters and the stories and the action and all that following.
Yeah, and that's why I watch. That's why I love Star Wars. It's always been an escape for me.
Right.
You know, yeah, I'm a musician by trade. I have other hobbies, but Star Wars is a special thing for me. I'm actually getting deeper into it. You know, hence why I'm on a podcast with you. I love Star Wars. It's a shame what they're doing, though. That whoever's on the top is like you said, intermingling our world into it, which is like the worst thing you can do. It's just keep all that stuff out. Can we just enjoy a great show? It's making me nervous for the fans that are heavily involved with the Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith era, the prequels, kids that grew up with the prequels. It's making me nervous because I feel like, oh no, are they going to drop the ball again?
Right.
Are they going to drop the ball?
A lot of people were treating Obi-Wan as a make it or break it show for them and their appreciation of any new Star Wars content that's coming out. And I feel like it is going to be a letdown for a lot of people. Hence why, as I said earlier in the show, I'm trying to pick out whatever good I can out of it. I want to be entertained. I want to learn more about the Star Wars universe. And that Operation Nightfall scene at the beginning, Obi-Wan's visions and his dreams of all shots of Anakin from all 3 prequel movies, that's what I want. That's amazing. That's perfect. Just give me like 5 hours of that and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I love the nostalgia. I love the emotional scenes. I think that the Luke Skywalker we got is the Obi-Wan we're getting now. Like that whole dichotomy of like an old hermit that's defeated and depressed and isolated, that more belongs with the Obi-Wan character due to everything he suffered, right? So I enjoy that part. What was your favorite scene from either episode?
It would have to be, well, first off, the very beginning when it did like a recap, like previously in Star Wars, and it was all prequel shots. That was amazing, as well as the mashup during Obi-Wan's dream nightmare sequence, where it was sound effects and shots from all 3 movies mashed up. It showed Anakin lightsaber sounds and blaster shots from Revenge of the Sith over top Jake Lloyd's face from Phantom Menace. That was beautiful. It looked like one of the fan edits you see on YouTube. That just I felt, and I said during my reaction, like it feels like they're actually acknowledging the prequels. Like Disney is actually acknowledging that what we've loved for so long. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, there's a huge love for the prequels, and they're making it known. I mean, you saw it at the Star Wars Celebration. I don't know if you saw it, but you got people chanting Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor is just like, they're just loving on him, and they deserve it. You know, it's been an awkward 2 decades of, you know, all the backlash they got back then, but now it's like, no, wait, we actually like you, like it's okay,
Right.
you know.
We make the memes because we love the movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But real quick, my favorite scene, besides the emotional, you know, tense scenes from Obi-Wan, my favorite scene, and it's a short, quick scene, but when he's in the desert digging up the lightsaber box or chest, and you see both of them in there, it just like hit me in a certain way. Like, dang, like the last time he saw those is right after he dropped off Luke, you know. So that was an emotional moment, and I just hope they continue down, because a lot of it's good. Let's be honest. A lot of it is really good,
right?
And it's like set up well. I mean, we're going to see tomorrow what we get, but I think they just pushed a little too hard though with this Reva character. I think is a little too much too soon. It's like whoa, and even within the show, you got characters annoyed with this character,
right?
You know, now it could be a foreshadowing of a really powerful moment, whether she is trying to win Lord Vader's favor or she's trying to get to him. We don't know, but she obviously has her own agenda,
right? And that's why I'm staying open-minded about it. I don't like really some of the things that the actress has said, but people in Hollywood say stuff. I don't really put that much weight behind it. I can only judge what I see on screen and if it fits in the Star Wars universe. And Star Wars fans know the Star Wars universe pretty well, and they'll know if something's out of place. And really, the biggest thing for me is Obi-Wan and Anakin. If they get those characters right, I can kind of overlook whatever side characters do, even if the side characters are supposed to be main characters. It's called Obi-Wan. I'm here for Obi-Wan. But as long as they get that right, I'll be happy. And so far, everything with Ewan McGregor has been great. I haven't had any complaints in that department. I really like Leia, the character of 10-year-old Leia.
I was just going to ask you, what do you think about Leia?
I love it. She reminds me so much of my daughter. And so I connect with her. The scene with her and Bale on the balcony, I thought was great. Bale is great in this show.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Legacy characters are always great.
Let's talk about how cool it is that they got the original actors too.
Yes.
I don't know their names, but the guy that plays Bale and the guy that plays Owen, I don't know if people will realize, but they were in the prequel at the end of the movie where he's, you know, they're taking Leia and they show that scene in Alderaan, and then they show Owen and his wife looking to the binary sunset.
Yep.
You know, so they had the same exact actors. And I love the actor that plays Owen. He's in some crazy movies like Black Mass with Johnny Depp, and he's a great actor. And I thought he was great on the show.
Yep.
And so there's a lot more good than bad, you know. So I would hope the fans just try to keep positive.
That's hence the title of this stream. Everything about Kenobi is fine, except Reva. Because it is fine. Some people like you and me, we really like it. The stuff that there is to like is awesome. There's other people that are like, yeah, it's good so far. It's fine. But it seems like the Reva is the question mark at this point.
She definitely is. Don't get me wrong. There's some good. There's good even with her. It's like, where does she come from? Why is she like this?
Oh, yeah.
Where is she going? You know.
No, she's not an open and closed book. We've only seen 2 pages.
Yeah, and it's only fair to everyone just to like calm down. Everyone needs to calm down. You know. So,
Scoundrels Cantina says Disney literally asked for the backlash this time in advance. People are unhappy because the fans once again are blamed in advance for nothing.
Oh my god! is he wrong? Is the Scoundrels Cantina Wrong.
Sad. And to prove the point, I don't know if you're aware of the Disney tweets that have come out.
Oh God.
Here's one. We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. All right, sounds good. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say. We resist. So it's good to stick up for your actors. I'm all for that. Friends, people that work for you, that's good. But my problem is if anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, so we are not allowed to criticize a character, an actress.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a pretty big First Amendment supporter, so I think people should say what they want.
Well,
I don't know.
People like to say what they want until they don't like what's being said about them.
Exactly. That's
So,
a great point.
Yeah, we need to get back to free speech. But again, Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's the post that I saw, and I'm not going to say what I said, but I was a little annoyed with it, and I said something, and I got kind of social media stalked by someone, and they so that was on Facebook, but they went on my Instagram and started commenting something, and I asked, well, what are you talking about? Like, right? So I called him out, and then he didn't respond, so just deleted it. But it's almost like we're gonna have our little way, and if you don't like it, you could just shove off. It's like that's not cool. You're making other people feel unwelcome as well.
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't put too much weight behind it because, I mean, I know Hollywood in general and what the movie industry is in kind of hints and bits and pieces about what they do behind closed doors when the cameras aren't rolling. So I don't really care what those kind of media production companies say, especially Disney. I'm not happy with Disney right now. I don't know if you know, I was actively planning a trip to Disney World this summer. I've never been. I grew up in Disneyland, twice a week going to Disneyland, all childhood.
Me too.
And so I'd never been to Disney World. I was really excited. The Disney stuff came out. I can't support Disney. I'm not paying for Disney Plus anymore. I bought season passes at Dollywood, the amusement park near our house. So I put my money somewhere else.
I feel the same. I'm not going to knock you. I bought Disneyland tickets before all the drama came out. And I have this whole trip planned to the damn show and Disneyland. Mind you, I have never been to Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
So I'm ecstatic to go. Will I go again? I don't know. I feel a little strange going because my beliefs it's doesn't correlate either. But part of me just wants to go and have fun, just forget it, whatever.
Right.
I'm going with some good friends, so it should be fun. But yeah, not happy with Disney either. Not happy.
Well, and then another thing, this is also what I wanted to bring up. Star Wars tweeted there are more than 200 or 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist. And I thought, wow.
That is a wow. That is a wow post. That is a ridiculous post. Yeah. That is ridiculous.
And I've heard someone say, if we're all in love with a green-skinned Twi'lek, how can anyone accuse us of being racist? And it's just like, really, like, we don't care about what the species are, what the race are. Like, we love all these characters. We just don't like bad storytelling in the Star Wars universe. That's really all we care about.
And they seem to, I feel like, and I'm just going to say her name, Kathleen Kennedy, and all these people that are in charge, they continuously miss the boat and the message. And the message is, we just want good storytelling. We want good Star Wars storytelling. And you take us out when you inject your, or you inject, like you say earlier, you inject our world, our problems, almost like the attitude of our world into a character. And it takes me out of the Star Wars fantasy. It's like, I watched Star Wars to leave the world behind, and somehow you found a way to screw that up.
No. See, Scoundrels Cantina says it best here. Well, I don't know about best, but pretty bluntly. At this point, Disney are just race baiting child groomers. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a buddy from Serbia.
I like
He's got a pretty successful channel himself.
I like this guy. I'm gonna subscribe.
Awesome.
I'm gonna subscribe.
Yeah, you talk about something. I'll put his link in the chat in case anyone has not subscribed to the Scoundrels Cantina.
Yeah, you just want a subscriber. That is wild.
So any other positives from the first 2 episodes? Anything else that really stands out to you?
I just really love the little things. The little things, you know. You're seeing a Jawa talk to Obi. You're seeing spaceships. You're seeing even a little toy that Luke plays with in New Hope. You see little womp rats. You see. You get a different sense of like what kind of work is out there, meaning that big like fish that they're working on, you know.
Yes, I wanted to try some of that. It looked like tuna.
Yeah, it looked like like sushi. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really.
But just I would say there's more. There's so much good with it. The effects, the everything, the plot, everything's great. It's like they're setting it up, and it's great. The casting was great. Little Princess Leia, she's hilarious. She's spunky. She's got a quick wit. She's got a big mouth, and kind of abrasive, just like Carrie Fisher. She's like a little Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I thought they cast her perfectly. It fit very well.
I also appreciated how dark it got at moments. You know, show us, you know, tell us where the Jedi is, or this family dies. And then she's talking about cutting hands off first hand so you can remember us. And this lady starts running her mouth and she actually does it. I thought that was like, wow. I mean, they did that in the old ones, you know, so the original trilogy. So I thought that took it to a whole new level. Like, wow, okay, that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
You know?
I do like that we're getting to see Dio and kind of the underworld of, oh my gosh, I got to stop right here. The Mad Cave is here. Great friend of the channel. One of my best online friends. Here's a sip for you. Yeah, if anyone watching likes retro gaming or gaming in general, definitely check out his channel. He's got a great stuff going on in his neck of the woods. But yeah, just seeing Dio and kind of the way people live. I thought the Spice Girl, which was Ewan McGregor's daughter.
Oh yeah, that's his real daughter.
Yep. I thought that was great. You get to see how people live. And that's what I live for in the Star Wars universe. I want to see how things go on in this universe. How do people live? Like if I could just watch a random person somewhere in the galaxy, like a 24-hour live stream of how they live their life, I want to see that. Like just show me stuff that goes on in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, that was kind of cool how like the kind of like the mundane. Yeah, it's just like a city and just normal stuff happening. That was cool to see.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, you want some spice? I sell spice." And he's like, "I'm looking for my daughter." He doesn't sound like Alfred. Never mind. I'm looking for my daughter. Use the Force, daughter. But she's like, if you lost your daughter here, you're not gonna find her. Just have some spice and forget about it.
Another
it
thing
was really dark, actually, that she said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, dark moments. What's up? Another thing is, I know people are kind of complaining about Obi, and he's tired, he's older. It's like, okay, well, what did you expect?
Right?
You expect him to pick up his lightsaber and take on the entire Empire by himself? Like, no. But I think it's setting it up to a really epic moment that hopefully is timeless, and you know, we can look back just like Luke coming in and the Mandalorian saving the day.
Right.
I hope Obi, or you know, a Jedi, or hopefully Obi, but he does his thing and kind of shows us a little bit of who he used to be in a moment.
Right. And I've said this, you know, for a couple weeks now. A buddy from church actually mentioned it to me. His theory on, I don't know if you've heard the leaks about Reva at the end of the series.
I have not heard the leaks. No.
All right, so according to the leaks, now take this with a big old Himalayan lamp salt grain.
Wait, do we have to do a spoiler alert? Like, beware,
no,
beware?
There's nothing to back up this leak, as far as I'm aware. So I'm not even going to do a spoiler alert. But sure, everyone in the chat, I guess, spoiler alert. But supposedly, Reva has Luke, Beru, Owen cornered in their hut with the lightsaber, about to actually kill them. And she decides not to. She turns back to the light side, goes back to Vader, and tells him she killed Obi-Wan Kenobi. He says, "I don't believe you," and kills her, and the series ends. And according to the leak, it's like, what? What's the point? I thought this was Obi-Wan Kenobi. But the guy at church said, what if only part of that is true? What if she's about to kill them to get to Kenobi, and he is able to bring her back to the light side and redeem her in effect, in place of redeeming Anakin? He failed his Padawan. He wasn't able to bring him back. And I'm hoping they have a confrontation, and he tries to bring Anakin back to the light side and fails, which would give credence to the line in Return of the Jedi, "Obi-Wan once thought as you do." That would be amazing. I want to see that. But what if he succeeds in turning Reva to the light side, as, just to help him feel better about Anakin, I guess, is a blunt way to put it.
Yeah.
But that's a way that could work. And then Obi-Wan is still the hero. He gets, some redemption as a Jedi in, okay, I did the light side of the Force, something good. So that's a way that they could make that work. If they do redeem Reva in this, and they do it well, and it's an emotionally character-driven action, then I forgot who it was that said it all the way at the beginning, if they did something similar to Ahsoka, we hated her character in the beginning, like not just, how she acted, but just the character. We didn't like it, felt out of place. If they do it the right way, she could end up being a really cool character, a really cool story. And I'm open to that. I'm not closing the door on that possibility just yet. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think there is a possibility of making something turn out better or good, and that's the story of Star Wars. Is like the biggest story is like redemption, right? Return of the Jedi, right? And there's a possibility that could happen, and I'm hopeful, but we'll see.
But the path to Disney Star Wars is littered with, what if they did this? They could have done that. It's like everything. And I keep thinking in my head, like, okay, hey, we're halfway done with this script. Okay, 10 random nerds at a convention. What do you think we should do from here?
Right?
Like anyone would give you a better idea of what to do.
Then Rise of Skywalker. I enjoyed the movies at first watch, and then I was like the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. I'm like, I don't know.
See, I didn't like the movies from The Force Awakens. I didn't like it. I was one of the very few people that said, "Oh, guys, this isn't going to be good." I was one of the very few people who didn't like The Force Awakens. And then, the other ones came out. I watched them each once, and I was like, "Nah, this is garbage. I'll keep Rogue One. Everything else, I won't touch it."
Rogue One
now, Matt Cave has re-edited The Last Jedi, completely re-edited, taken out the whole Canto Bight Casino Planet scene, the whole code breaker, all of the Yo Mama jokes, all of the unnecessary stuff, all the Luke looking like a weirdo, all of the stuff that is the main criticism of people have of the movie is taken out, and you have whatever's left in his edit is actually really good. There's a lot of good in The Last Jedi that is just completely buried under all the unnecessary garbage that everyone likes to complain about. And I had not even allowed myself to entertain the idea that there was anything in The Last Jedi that I might like the first watch through. But after watching Matt Cave's edit, I was like, you know what? I like this movie or at least what this movie could have been if it wasn't buried under everything else. So if you're interested, and then I'll have Matt Cave send it to you or whatever.
Oh yeah,
we'll figure that out.
Yeah,
Worth a watch, because I can
yeah.
say now I like The Last Jedi. I just don't like the theatrical release. I like the Matt Cave edit.
You like the edited version.
Yeah. But yeah, it's with all the baggage taken out of it, it's a really good movie. There's some really good points to it. And we did a watch party in my Discord, where we watched through it and then we had a stream talking about it. I've kind of changed my opinion on the sequel trilogy as a whole. It could have been great, but it was muddied by a bunch of other stuff.
I agree.
Yep. From Disney canon, I will only accept Rogue One, Rebels, Fallen Order, and Bad Batch. Head canon is the best canon. Matt Cave says, I have them on Google Drive. Hit me up on Discord if you like to download them. Yeah, we'll swap links and everything. We'll get you that Matt Cave edit. All right. Any predictions going forward in the Kenobi series?
Predictions. So
how about this? We'll start off with anything you would like to see in the rest of the episodes. Like, what are your top 3 things you really want to have in these episodes?
I want to see Obi-Wan communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn. That would be unbelievable. Obviously, number 2 is some kind of showdown with Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Or something between them two, which I think is obvious at this point, but it better happen. Number 3, I just want to be surprised. I want to jump out of my seat. Yeah,
like a Book of Boba Fett episode 6. Oh my gosh, that's Luke and Ahsoka in the same shot.
It was
something like that.
Yeah, it was just like mind-boggling. I still had I had to watch it twice or 3 times, the episode you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, are you kidding me right now? We have Luke and Ahsoka, and it's trying to process it. Like, this is so cool.
Right.
And the same with Luke and the Mandalorian showing up
in
an X-Wing. And that was so flawlessly done, because you're like, wait a minute. Is it? I don't know. And you're still questioning yourself until you see the green lightsaber, and they're like, it's freaking Luke Skywalker.
And even then, you don't want to fully commit to that idea just in case it's not him. Yeah. And in that same vein, Clone Wars Season 7, the last 4 episodes, Siege of Mandalore arc, I remember we were texting back and forth like, dude, it's happening. Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm crying right now.
That's right. We were texting, especially the last episode with Darth Vader going to that planet and there's snow and he finds her lightsabers. Like, it's
still beautiful. And I have the 5-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith with Bad Batch, Season 7, Clone Wars, all edited together into a 5-hour movie. And it ends on that shot.
Wow.
Of him walking away in the snow.
Wow.
It's incredible. But yeah, something like that. I totally get what you mean. Just give us something that makes us feel like this is Star Wars. This is why we enjoy this stuff. I'm with you on that. I would like to see prequel references. I want to see not necessarily flashbacks, but callbacks to the prequels. I knew Anakin when he was like this. Just mentions. Obviously, Qui-Gon would be amazing because we know that's who he's been talking with, and he spoke to Qui-Gon after that vision, or also right before he met the clone on Daiyu. He said, if ever I could use your help, Master, it'd be now. Something like that. But I want to see more of that. I would love to have Liam Neeson's voice. Obviously, that would be great. If they do it as a Force ghost, I'm down with that. I'm not too caught up about, Qui-Gon can't appear as a Force ghost. He was just a voice. I don't know. I don't know. Give me Qui-Gon. I don't care. And then beyond that, I just want to not be disrespected as a Star Wars fan. That's kind of my big ask, is just don't do anything egregious, and all the stuff like bad acting, poor character design, weird jokes. I can overlook that. don't disrespect me as a Star Wars fan. That's all I care about.
I agree. I mean, who are they going to kill off this time? You know, you
Yep.
can't kill off that much, you know. But that's what sucks about being a Star Wars fan is that they killed off all our favorite characters in the
Hmm.
sequels. It's like, why did you do that?
Right.
You know?
Wouldn't it be great if we see Vader's lair? Yes, that would be great. More of Vader's castle on
Oh,
Mustafar with Ahsoka's lightsaber in his collection. I
oh,
want the Clone Wars flashbacks. Just
that's
give me
cool.
everything.
That's cool. That's cool. That's interesting. It makes you think. What else could you see in those flashbacks or his
Speaking of
lair?
Vader's castle,
Oh, there we go.
yeah.
There we go.
All
Wow.
right, getting a little toasty. Yeah, just give me more Star Wars, please. And I think that's something that the Bad Batch did really well, and a lot of people didn't appreciate about the Bad Batch, is it gave us so much more information about the Star Wars universe. You know, with setting up the chain codes and having to get ship registration, and the transition from the Phase 2 clone armor into the prototype Stormtrooper armor. Like, we got to see a lot of how the Empire established itself following Order 66 that we never got in visual media before. And I feel like a lot of the Bad Batch, you know, like, oh, I don't like Omega, she's a weird character, everything else like that kind of stole a lot of the attention and a lot of the conversation. But there's a lot that it gave us about the Star Wars universe that filled in gaps.
Hmm.
And I really want Kenobi to do that. This is a
Yeah.
huge stretch of time that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
You know, what is Obi-Wan doing? What is Luke doing? How are they living? What is going on in the galaxy? What's Vader dealing with at this time?
Mm-hmm.
What is Obi-Wan Kenobi's relationship to the Force? How is Anakin dealing with the loss of Padme and everyone he loves? We don't know that. Fill in those gaps. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. Where's Ahsoka this time?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That too.
I mean, there's so many questions, so many places they can go that
Right.
it would be great. And I'm hopeful because it's a series rather than a movie where they have a time, they have a very stringent, you know, plot to fulfill, but in a series you can really explore that stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And we just we don't know about which avenue. They have so many avenues they could go down. And I'm just hoping that they don't go down the wrong one. It's like, you could do so many things, just don't punch me in the face, please. This is too much to ask.
So what? Let's ask some of your viewers here. What would they
Mhm.
like to see?
Yeah, that's a good question. Everyone in the chat, everyone watching right now, first off, if you wouldn't mind to delicately tap that like button, don't smash it because I'd hate for you to break your phone. Just and then also comment in the chat below, or chat in the chat below, I guess. What would you like to see? What's the one thing you want to see in this series? And if you get that, you'll be happy. We've kind of named a bunch of the things that we're looking for, and I want to hear from you guys. Whether you're pessimistic or optimistic, just let me know what you want. So, did you see the Andor trailer?
I did.
What
I
you
did.
think?
I have to watch it again, but it was very exciting, and I feel like they're going to show more. Just
Mhm.
like we were talking about seeing more of Star Wars, I think there's a lot of we could see in this show as well. What did you get out of it?
Well, I've been saying for a while, people are sleeping on Andor. I think it's going to be so much better than people are giving it credit for. Oh, why do we need a show about Cassian Andor? Pfft, who even cares about that guy? It's like, okay, first off, he's been in this fight since he was 6 years old. Second, it's not necessarily about Andor. It's about the formation of the rebellion. Like, how did it start? How did they start to gain support and gain their resources? How did they gain their intel? I'm really hoping, and it seems like based on the trailer, we're gonna get this like a spy movie, like an undercover, covert spy thriller
Jason Bourne, but
Set
in
it-
Star Wars.
Yes, like keep it serious. Like this is this is spies figuring out how they're going to start their war against a much larger opponent, but it happens to be set in the Star Wars universe with Andor as the main character. That's what I'm hoping for, and I think just as Matt Cave's saying right here, Andor is a sleeping giant. I really feel like that
I have to agree.
because a lot of the Disney stuff that's come out before, what makes it bad in the eyes of some people is, oh, you disrespected the character that I love. Oh, you made Luke a hermit. Oh, you made Han Solo a deadbeat dad. Like everyone's back to square one. You disrespected all my favorite characters. But if they have a series where they really might only have one character that we're aware of so far, Cassian Andor, which to the general population is a nobody, that will at least take that off the table from their possibilities of failure. Like give us a whole new timeline with nothing that really connects to anything other than where it's set in the grand scheme of things. So I think it has all of the ingredients to be a fantastic series. I think people are sleeping on it.
I have to agree. I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing show. I think they're going to show stuff in there that's like just epic. I mean, if it's anything like Rogue One, it's going to be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you rank real quick? Where do you rank Rogue One in your Star Wars movies?
Third favorite behind Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith.
Wow,
I love Rogue One.
wow, that's
I really do. It's yeah, and you can tell how much of a prequel guy I am from that.
I love Rogue One. I don't know if I'll put it up there.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm like,
sacrilegious to a lot of people to put anything above the original trilogy, but I like the prequels better than the originals.
wow. I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
That's just me. I love and respect, but I don't have as much nostalgia and emotion for the originals.
See, I guess I'm lucky in that way where I have all of that emotion, nostalgia. Even, a lot of different Star Wars fans talk about what it did for them beyond just being a movie, how it inspired them, how it gave them hope, and as a kid growing up with spiritual beliefs, I felt like, wow, I can be like Luke Skywalker, I can just have a little bit of faith. And next thing I know, instead of being on a desert, I'm flying in a fighter plane or jet or starfighter, and I'm blowing up the most evil contraption that galaxy has ever seen, just because I had faith and I used the Force, So it really spoke to me as a kid. And George always said it was George Lucas always said it was a kid movie, and he was right. But at the same time, it's also a universal movie for everybody. But as a kid growing up, it really moved me on the simple basis that, it's the message of you can always go on a journey and become better than what you are now, And he tied up that whole series with a bow with redemption, He could have just made it a simple, oh yeah, he's a hero, and then he wins the day, and then we're done. But then you got Empire Strikes Back, and it was a dark ending. They basically lost. We didn't know what was going to happen, and we saw Vader for the true villain that he was. So that's why I have a connection with the originals. But I was there for the prequels too. 15 years old, going to see Phantom Menace in the theaters, and then how old was I? 20, 21 when Revenge of the Sith came out, and just I was part of that train too. So I have a little bit of nostalgia for the prequels as well.
Right. I think that's a good position to be in, and I honestly envy you a little bit that I didn't grow up with the originals before the prequels came out. Because I watched the originals first, obviously as every Star Wars fan should. But the Phantom Menace was my favorite movie growing up. That's the only Star Wars movie we had in the house, and I watched it a ton. And I just I was looking at the Senate and the separatists and the Trade Federation and everything, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. but I want to learn more about it. And so that piqued my interest more than the lightsabers and the Force and stuff. It's like I want to know about the world. That's always been most important to me.
Hmm.
Let's catch up on some chats. These are in response to what do they want to see out of the rest of Kenobi. In that case, says I would love to see Delta Squad from Republic Commando in Bad Batch Season 2. And I would also love to see Inferno Squad from Battlefront 2. There's so much material they can tie in to put into whatever. Shows, video games, everything.
Now, it's a little confusing because a lot of these shows are so many different time, right? Different time frames in the Star Wars universe. And I get a little confused sometimes, but what is refreshing is, like you said earlier, this is a 10-year mark we haven't explored before.
Yep.
And it's cool because Rebels and Clone Wars kind of gave us a lot of content up to this point. And now we get to see things we haven't seen before. And it's pretty cool to see the Inquisitors in live action, you know, and all their devices and all the stuff they got going on. But what else are we going to see? You know.
Oh, speaking of Inquisitors, real quick before we go on with these chats, what do you think about the Grand Inquisitor?
I had read an interview with him that he did not look at the animation at all.
And then he came out and said he absolutely did.
Oh, really? He was lying.
He said, no, trust me. I did watch Rebels. I did watch the Grand Inquisitor. That's the last I've heard, is that he absolutely did. Okay,
well, it seems like he didn't, though, because he did a great job of doing his own interpretation of that character, I thought. I'm also glad they fixed the eyes.
Yes.
That was weird. It was like just normal eyes in the trailers, and then it looks like they digitally fixed his eyes to be Sith eyes or whatever. I thought he was interesting and dark and kind of creepy, and just and he had like a commanding presence. I think I liked him more than I thought I would, and
I would agree with that.
And I'm a little. Do you think he's really dead?
No, I mean he shows up later in Rebels.
Yeah, so I don't think he's dead either. But it was shocking to see that in that second episode.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what's going on? You know. Yeah. I like him. I like the actor. I like what he's doing with him. Yep. I want to see more of him.
And I honestly, it's been too long since I watched Rebels to have a fresh image in my mind of what the Grand Inquisitor is supposed to be like. But I thought he was great in this. He's calm, still menacing, intimidating. Like, you know, he's powerful, but he's not trying to flaunt it, which I think is in direct contrast with Reva, where she's trying to prove how powerful she is in her dialogue and slicing off people's hands and stuff. And the Grand Inquisitor is just like, no, if you had true power, you wouldn't be like that. And I like that contrast, and whether that's by design, going back into the she's like Ahsoka thing, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I like the Grand Inquisitor so far. Scoundrels Cantina says Qui-Gon, and that's about it for me. That's all he wants to see in Kenobi is Qui-Gon.
Hey,
understandable.
That's a good one. But there's more.
Yep. Israel Garcia says a fresh non-canon destroying Star Wars. Yeah, it's a lot of people just don't break anything. It's like, you can remodel the bathroom, but don't get drywall on my bed, please. Like, this is where I live. This is my space.
Isn't that a lot of us in the Star Wars fandom? It's like, yeah, okay, here we go. Make a show, but please don't screw this up.
Yeah,
you know.
Yep, absolutely. And then going back to what we were talking about, where we grew up with, the nostalgia. He says, I feel like the story from the original trilogy was better, but the world from the prequels was more interesting. Yes. And it's all about what you want as a fan. Like I said, I care about the world building more than the characters and the story and the action and stuff. So that's why I like the prequels better. Other people might not like the prequels because of too much politics or whatever. But that's it. That's a good point.
That's kind of my camp, though. I just felt like, what are we talking about? Let's get on with some Force stuff here.
Yep. Let's see. Thoughts on Tales of the Jedi, I'm optimistic for animated projects in comparison to the live action stuff, which I don't really enjoy that much. Is Tales of the Jedi Filoni?
I think it is.
Okay.
And I'm actually more excited about that than anything. Well,
Mhm.
that one and Ahsoka, obviously.
Right.
But looking into Tales of the Jedi, they're going to explain almost every backstory, and one of them is Count Dooku.
Yep. Which we haven't gotten any of except for in the book Dooku Jedi Lost, which I don't know if you read that one. I really enjoyed it. There's an audio drama on Audible for that one. It was really good. And it's all about Dooku's, how he leaves the Jedi Order. And I don't know what they're going to touch on in Tales of the Jedi in regards to Dooku. But it's a really good book. With Tales of the Jedi, it's, again, a period that we don't know about. And I don't know how far back they're going to go in the timeline with that. But if it's just time that we haven't seen before, a setting we haven't seen before, even characters we haven't seen before, it's a clean slate. Just don't break anything.
Don't break anything.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked Kenobi and Reva to death. Again, I'm open to whatever they have planned for the character. I'm excited. I'm just going to pick out what I can to enjoy. But I guess we'll figure out in a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, it's been good talking. Thanks for having me.
Very good talking. And we can chat a little bit after the stream ends. But for everyone watching, thank you very much for coming by tonight. I really appreciate you being here. If you've been here since the beginning, I really appreciate your time. May the stash be with you. And I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.